Hey there, it is Lee here from the Appalicious Teacher, and I am going to be sharing with you a quick tutorial on how you can use close reading all year in your digital classroom without actually having a digital product. So many of you have been sending me messages asking if I'm going to be converting my close reading units into Google Slide versions. And the short answer to that is no, you don't actually need me to do that for you, because there are some simple things that you can do that allow you to customize this lesson so that you can push it out through distance learning in your Google Classroom or on SeeSaw. And so today I'm going to show you how to do that. First, we're going to start with the unit that we want to push out to our students. So it's spring. We are ready to, learn about seeds and plants. This is a perfect time for a close reading of the book From Seed to Plant by Gail Gibbons. If you have my close reading all year unit, or if you have this individual unit, you can open up this file. Make sure you open up the PDF so that you can see a full page in your screen. That's going to be very important. From there, you're going to scroll through and find the pieces that you would like to share with your students. Now, obviously, every unit comes with lesson plans. It also comes with links to different information. You're not going to want to share the lesson plans with your students. These are for you to help guide you through how to use this lesson, how to use this unit in a meaningful and engaging way with your students. So this actually makes planning out for your digital classroom super easy, because you can read through and decide, hey, what do I want to do today? What do I want my students to do in writing? What do I want them to do in reading? And I can just quickly grab slides that I want them to work on, type up a quick lesson, and push it out to them. Every unit also includes question cards, and although you're not going to be pushing the actual question cards out to students, you can, however, use these as a discussion point, whether you're doing a whole group like Zoom meeting or Google Chat. You could also use them as adding a question into your Google Class. They make a perfect launching point for classroom discussion on author's purpose, main idea. The questions, all my close reading units include include question cards, and the question cards are always aligned to Webb's depth of knowledge numbers 1 through 3, so you know their quality in meaningful questions. So let's get down to business. We are probably going to want to push out some printables to our students, and traditionally that would mean at school we would print out the worksheet and then either, start the worksheet together, and then students would finish it on their own. And obviously, right now, we can't quite do that. So you can still use the printables that are available in my close reading units in your Google Classrooms or on SeeSaw, which is one simple tool. So to do that, I am going to launch the snipping tool in my from my PC. If you have a Mac, you will not have snipping tool. This is a PC tool, but like I said, if you have a Mac, you'll do a screenshot instead. So we'll use the snipping tool. We'll click New Snip, and there you're going to see I have crosshairs that I'm going to go, and I'm going to use the crosshairs to draw a box around the item that I would like to snip and send out to my students. So I want this main idea sheet to push out to my students. So I'm going to snip that, and you're going to see it comes up as a file, and I'm going to save this file as a new snip. So let's find a file to put this in. Probably should have done this before. Close reading seeds to plants. Da, 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 da. Open it up, and then I'm going to call this main idea printable. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Okay. Then I can close out my snipping screen. And I can actually do that for all of the things that I would like for students to do in Google Classroom. So maybe I want them to do this part. Maybe I want them to complete this part. So let's do another snip. File. Snip. Gonna snip this. save as, and I'm gonna make sure it goes back into that same folder. This is a sequencing activity. Sequencing. Am I the only person that has to sound out words when they're typing them? And I want also the little after piece, but I only need part of this, so I'm going to snip that. Snip. Da, 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 da. File. Save as. Answers for sequence. And remember, I'm saving this as a JPEG. From there, I can go through and snip anything else that maybe I want to have students use, like this plant feature one, or excuse me, this text feature one. From there, after I have all the snips that I want to push out to my students, I'm going to go up to my Google Classroom, which you can see here on my screen. And then I'm also going to open my Google Slides. Okay, so in Google Slides, you can actually create a new slide. And we're going to first change the name so that I know that this presentation and what it is. And then we're going to see here that the slide is actually meant for like traditional presentation. It's the size of a screen, a computer screen, but I need it to be paper size. So to do that, I'm going to go to File, Page Setup. I'm going to go to Custom, and I'm going to change this from a 10 by 5 to an 11 by 8.5. So it's the size of a sheet of paper. Oh, I want it. I don't want it landscaped. I want it. Come on, Lee, get with the program. I want it portrait, not landscape. Now you know how to do landscape. There we go. And I also want it blank because I don't need these pre-filled text boxes because I'm going to add my own. Okay, so now I have my paper-sized Google slide, and I'm going to insert those JPEGs that I took, those screenshots of the file. So I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to change background. I'm going to choose an image and the file that I made. And I'm going to find my image. And I'm going to click Done. And here it creates a background of the worksheet that I pushed through. Now, if you're using SeeSaw instead of Google, you would skip this step entirely and you would just upload the JPEG into SeeSaw, and then students can either do a video recording or they can add text boxes and type. But in Google Slides, this is a simple way to do it. Now, I do want my students to be able to type, so I'm just going to add text boxes on where I expect for them to type. Type mean idea here, and then I'm going to add another text box here, and wherever you need your text boxes to go, you can just add them. Okay, from there, I can actually take this, and remember I can change this to copy, and I can push this out to students in my drive. So I could come in here and push out that sheet. Another option you could do is actually load up a full Google slide, like PowerPoint almost, of all the worksheets. That way you're not constantly having to push out just one worksheet at a time. You can just tell students in this file, complete, page 1, page 2, page 3, or slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. I also wanted to show you how you can make pieces like interactive in here. So remember there was a sheet that had like a cut and paste, and obviously You know, we could push that out as a PDF to a parent and say, hey, have them print this out and cut it out. But some parents don't have access to that. I know my son's teacher has been pushing out PDFs for us to print. And I love that because I love my son to actually have that interaction piece instead of everything on the computer. But I know maybe that's not something everybody can do, or it just doesn't make sense for you, whatever. I'm going to show you how to make an interactive piece for a cut and paste. So once again, we're going to select a background image. And we want to do this cut and paste. Select done. But remember, we wanted pieces here. So I'm going to actually insert an image that I'm going to upload from 4. And here I can actually crop the image down to its different parts as if I'm like cutting it. Oh, don't do that. For the student. So now it's a movable piece that students can put. So here finally the flower blooms. Let's see. And let's insert another image, and I can do this again and again for that sheet until I have everything. Oops, I don't need to do that. Sorry, why am I inserting text boxes? Blah, blah, blah. We want to crop the image. We're going to crop it down to the next one. And here. And there. And here we can see this would fit here for this one. So what I would do is I would create these cut and paste pieces, and just as when I save the file, they'll save over here on the side. And then when I push out this file to students, students can actually go and use these like interchangeable pieces to put in. Okay, so that is how you can use my close reading resources in your Google Slides. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Hopefully this helps you use resources that you already have in your repertoire of teacher tools and be able to actually reach your students in meaningful and engaging ways, even when they're safe at home. All right, guys, I will talk to you later.